I'm Brandon Ebron, and I'm back with another episode of Sports and Quotes. And today, I make my bold prediction for this year's Super Bowl. Let's get into it. Both conferences are pretty much still wide open, so anything can happen on this second half of the season. Let's take a look at the AFC conference. Leading the way is the Super Bowl champs, the New England Patriots. They have a record of 8-1, and they look good on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, and recently took an L against the Baltimore Ravens, who happen to be right behind them. Lamar Jackson is unbelievable. He's playing lights out, and he's also in the MVP talks. The Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson, they won a couple games in a row. He's looking good. The only thing that concerns me is their defense. J.J. Watt, he's out for the rest of the season. And they also got rid of Jadeveon Clowney, sent him to the Seahawks. So I don't see them making too much noise in the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're nowhere near the team they were last year. And it looks like, well, we all know what's keeping them from being successful is their lack of defense, which I hinted on last season. The Buffalo Bills, they seem pretty solid, but I don't see them getting past the first round of the playoffs. Pittsburgh Steelers, man, I was wrong about them. When Big Ben went down, I thought their season was over. And now they're in the hunt for the playoffs. And they hold a tie with the Indianapolis Colts and the Oakland Raiders. The AFC is pretty much up for grabs. Anybody can land anywhere. But with all roads leading to Foxborough, and you already know what's going to happen then. It's going to be hard to beat them in their own house. Leading the way of the NFC is the San Francisco 49ers. They have a perfect record. They look good on offense, and their defense is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. You can't really say enough about the 49ers. The Green Bay Packers, they got up to a good start. Aaron Rodgers is looking good, and they even have a solid defense. The New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees, he just returned from an injury. Teddy Bridgewater did his things. He held it down and stayed perfect while Drew Brees sat down to recover. I know the Saints are looking to make a run this year, and we'll just have to see what happens. Dallas Cowboys. I really don't know what to say about Dallas. They blew that game Sunday night against Minnesota Vikings. I think that was a winnable game for them and a pivotal game that they needed to win, that they should have won, and they could have won. The Seattle Seahawks. Man, that team is always dangerous. Russell Wilson, fourth quarter Russell Wilson. You can never count them out. And if they get into the playoffs, which I think they will, look out. The Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins, he's all right. He played good against Dallas the other night. And he was doubted because he hasn't really beat, elite teams in the league or teams that has a winning record. Minnesota defense, they're pretty stout. They look pretty good. And we just had to see where they end up in the rankings. And now, for my bold prediction for this year's Super Bowl. I predict that the New England Patriots and the Green Bay Packers will play in this year's Super Bowl, February 2nd, in Miami. That's all I have today for sports. Today's quote is, "Stay patient and trust your journey."